Everyone, and welcome to our cluster advising orientation for the natural sciences. My name is Annalise Loffer. I'm one of the assistant directors here in first year advising, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to today's event. If you all would be so kind as to let us know that you're here. So you can either scan the QR code here or click the link that's been provided in the Zoom chat so that we can check you in. We also encourage you to update your Zoom name so that it will be your first name, your last name, and your major. That helps us know who's in the room and who we're speaking to. And please, this session is being recorded, so we do recommend that you keep yourself muted during this session. So what are we going to cover today? We are going to be talking about what to expect in this main session about the transition from cluster advising or transition from first year advising to cluster advising. You'll find out what to expect when you enter cluster advising, as well as learn insights from experienced cluster advisors. You'll also then have a chance to go into breakout rooms and meet your cluster advising case team. So the advisors that will support you starting in May. You'll find out about some curricular highlights and helpful resources and opportunities related to your major as well. You'll get a chance to have any questions that you have answered by your cluster advising team. Note that really specific stuff might be best left for a future advising appointment, but if you have kind of general questions that are burning that you want to get answered now, and you'll get to know some next steps to prepare for sophomore year. But before we jump into that, we did just want to do a really brief intro activity. So we encourage you to use the emojis in Zoom. So you can go to the little react button and then you can choose a reactions. You can even choose more. And just give us a little insight into how you're feeling as you close out your freshman year and prepare for sophomore year. All right, I'm seeing a lot of excitement, lots of good thumbs ups. A little bit of it sounds like tired, some crying, laughing. Okay, so it's been an interesting year. All right, well, however it is that you are feeling going into this transition, we want to make sure that you know that you have a team of folks that are here to support you and that this is exciting. It's both a time to reflect on how your first year has gone and then also at a time of excitement as you prepare to kind of take on that next adventure in your USC journey. And so for the past, 8-9 months, if you are a fall admit, or the past 3 or 4 months, if you are a spring admit, you've been supported by first year advising. So you've had an assigned advisor here in our first year advising office. But continuing students, sophomores through graduation, are supported by cluster advising. So that's what we're really going to talk about today is what does cluster advising look like? Who are your cluster advisors? And what should you expect as you make that transition? To prepare you a little bit for what is coming up, we call this time of year our transition experience. So this is where we transition folks from first year advising to cluster advising. And this experience started with your pre-registration advising appointment when you met with your first year advisor, whomever that was, either in February or March or April. In that meeting, we talked about what you should be taking in your sophomore year and what your goals are for that next semester. We talked about how classes were going and kind of reviewed your spring term. Next up is what you're at right now, these cluster advising orientation sessions. This is where you learn what to expect in cluster advising, discover some sophomore year opportunities, learn a little bit more about things you might want to know as a sophomore, rising sophomore about your majors, and get that opportunity to get introduced to your cluster advising case team. Next up is our One Dornsife Fest, which is coming up on Thursday, where you'll also have the opportunity to meet your cluster advisors in person, celebrate the end of your first year with other students, advisors, faculty, staff, and alums. And then finally, coming up in May is what we call our official handoff, our fond farewell and welcome. So this is when you'll officially transition from first year advising to cluster advising. This is going to happen around that first week of May, and you'll get an email from your first year advisor letting you know that you're about to transition and kind of sending you some well wishes. And then you'll get an official welcome from your new cluster advising team. And at that point, you will officially be, in terms of advising, in your sophomore year and working with cluster advising. So I know I mentioned this on the last slide, but I just want to really encourage you, if you haven't signed up yet, to please join us at our One Dornsife Fest event on Thursday. This is an opportunity to connect with fellow freshmen. We're going to have an in-and-out truck, a bunch of swag, a chance at raffle prizes. And again, it's your first opportunity to meet the folks that are going to be presenting to you today in person. Maybe ask them some of those more personal questions that you might have, maybe a little more specific to you that maybe aren't as uh, adapt for a group setting. You'll also have the opportunity to connect with campus partners and faculty, meet alums and transfer students. So we really hope to see you there. And you can scan the QR code here, or there should be a link in the chat to RSVP if you haven't already. So with that, I want to introduce the cluster lead for our natural sciences cluster, Luis Ramirez, who will go through a little bit about what to expect in cluster advising.
Terrific. Thank you very much, Annalise. What a great introduction. Really appreciate that. So my name is Luis Ramirez. I am the Natural Science Cluster Lead. And over the next, I'd say about 15 minutes, we're just going to do broad strokes, give you a sense of what it is like to be in the cluster advising, be in the care of our advisors during the next, 3 years or so. And how that starts off, well, you are all rising sophomores, and this is where we find ourselves. And so we're really excited to be part of this transition with you, especially excited about the fest that's coming up on Thursday. But before we get there, some information for you to know about cluster advising and what to expect next. So just the sort of broad strokes here, and just discuss with you what the majors and how we are organized into academic focus areas within each cluster. Each focus area has a dedicated advising team. Focus area teams are here to ensure a few things: consistent support, shared expertise, flexible access to advising throughout your time at Dornsife. And these are going to be in the focus areas of the life sciences and physical sciences. That is all under the natural science cluster. So there are two of these areas. Once again, that's the life sciences and the physical sciences and math. What you're going to see in our next slide is how these are each broken down. So majors are organized into academic focus areas within each cluster. Each focus area has a dedicated advising team. Focus area teams ensure consistent support. Oh, I'm actually reading the same slide. Sorry about that. What you see before you, and in fact, some more details is being shared with you now in the drop down or in the chat, is a featuring more of the detailed information in the life sciences and the physical sciences. I'm just going to take a moment here so you can see where your major falls within these cluster areas of life sciences and the physical sciences. In the handout itself, you'll be able to see how the majors and the minors are broken down into these different areas of the clusters. So up until this point, you've been advised with first-year advisors. So it's helpful to see kind of where is the transition? How is this going to differ? Well, the first-year advisors were really terrific at being able to talk to you about majors and minors in Dornsife. And you had one advisor that was dedicated to doing that. They specialized in the first-year curriculum, major exploration, and freshman opportunities. Assigned advisors would follow you even if you changed your major within Dornsife. Now, in cluster advising, CASE team of advisors who advise for all majors in a focus area, again, those are life sciences for one, physical sciences in the other, will be advising you in those respective areas. They'll specialize in major specific curriculum and student opportunities. Advising case teams will change if students change to a major in a different focus area. So, for example, if you're a major in mathematics, maybe the Bachelor's of Science, you would be under the physical sciences and math cluster. If you decide to change to neuroscience, that would then change your advising team to the life sciences. Students with majors and or maybe a minor in different focus areas will have multiple advising case teams. So for instance, human biology, you would have an advisor in the life sciences. And if you were minoring in statistics, you would have an advisor in physical sciences and mathematics. Now, your cluster advisors can help you in several different ways. Understanding major course offerings and academic policies. Sometimes when you're trying to understand what courses to take, it's very helpful to have an expert in your corner. Create a personal academic plan. So if you're thinking about how, and you may want to study abroad, creating a course plan will be very helpful in making some of those plans happen. Add a second major or a minor or explore a progressive degree. Some of you may have heard of the PDPs. Advisors, cluster advisors will be able to help you with that. They'll also be able to help you connect with faculty in your major or learn how to get involved with research. You can explore study abroad opportunities and faculty-led programs, engage in career opportunities, and prepare for what comes next. Refer you to resources such as academic or health and well-being, and make sure you're on track to graduate. Now, the next few slides, we're going to focus on, well, how do we connect with our advisors? Now, fortunately, you have a lot of experience already with Advise USC, so there's just going to be a few things that are going to differ. You can see your assigned cluster advisor in Advise USC. Many of you, since you've used this platform to connect with your advisor, your first year advisor, both for appointments and for support cases, you'll be able to understand like how this platform helps you connect. So in my success team that's highlighted here in yellow, you will be able to locate all members of your team. On the far right, you will see how it will break down the focus area team members so that you can identify them as you are trying to maybe make an appointment, even trying to maybe create a support case. Just a little note here that when, and I'm going to harken back to this, when you're trying to identify your success team, it's very helpful to use the success team list here to identify who is on your team. Utilize Advise USC cases to message your cluster advisor. This will be really helpful to be able to answer any questions, or maybe if you're planning something for the summer and you have a quick question, use the support cases to do this. Now, we do recommend that if you're going to submit a support case, go ahead and just create one support case at a time. You can send a message to any member of your case team as well. And just the same there, if you are going to send a message to an advisor, and if you have a support case that you are wanting to direct to an advisor, make sure you're just sending one support case to one advisor at a time. And when you submit your questions, expect anywhere from 3 to 5 business days. Now, when you're submitting a support case, you will go to your platform, the Advise USC platform. You'll select Advise USC. You'll go to Advisor Connect, which is the tab at the very top, create a new Advise USC case, and then you'll select Get Support from my current advisor. Now it'll say current advisor, but remember, you'll have a team of advisors that you can select from your focus area. So you'll select Next. And after you do that, you will be able to see before you some of the options here for creating a new support case. But I want to focus in on the part that says advisors. So note that the advisor dropdown list, you can reference the success team section that we just viewed when we were talking about the platform Advise USC to begin with. That will show your advisor and who it is in your focus area. Once you're ready, you'll select Create Case, and that'll submit the next steps. Now, booking advising appointment with your focus team, you can select from any of those that are part of the focus area. So the only sidebar on that is, only book one appointment at a time. Do not book multiple appointments. This will keep other fellow Trojans from meeting with an advisor. So one appointment at a time is what we recommend. You can meet with the same advisor regularly or meet with different advisors. And one last thing, if something happens, because we know life happens and you booked up an appointment, if you can't make an appointment, just make sure you cancel it so a fellow Trojan can take that appointment after you. Depending on where you are in your second year, third year, et cetera, mandatory pre-registration advising will really sort of follow this format of how many units you've completed for your degree. So depending on those units, you may be required to meet with a member of your advising case team prior to registering for future terms. So keep that in mind. You can see what term or what time of day that you would be registering, the date as well, of course, on OASIS, and you can also see it on web registration. So check your activity restrictions each term to see if you have mandatory advising restrictions or other holds that require you to meet with your academic advisor. One last thing. We will post a lot of information on Advise USC. So as you get your day started, we recommend that in the semester, you just check your Advise USC. We do post announcements on that first page. You can see what the latest opportunities are. Any interesting classes will be posted there, scholarships, fellowships, internship information, Maymester, overseas information really does get posted there. So we encourage students to take a look at that and select view all so you can see all the different information that's there. So with that, I thank you for being here, and I'll hand things back to Annalise. I'll just join the Cluster Advisor Insight team here.
All right. Thank you so much, Luis, for that kind of overview of what to expect from cluster advising, how to contact your cluster advisors, and also how to book appointments and all that good stuff. We're now going to go into a little panel. We have some of our experienced cluster advisors here, as well as Luis is also still here to answer questions. Elisa, Pablo, and Logan. So if you do have any kind of general questions, feel free to start putting them in the chat. If they're anything super major specific, I recommend you hold off on those until we go into our breakout rooms. But if you have any kind of general questions about cluster advising, please feel free to put them in the chat, and we'll get a few answers from our panelists. And so the first question that I want to ask is, do you recommend meeting with the same cluster advisor every time, or should I meet with different people? If I meet with someone new, will they be able to see the course plans and notes from meetings I had with other advisors on my case team?
I'll go ahead and address that. For sure, you should know that your notes, your advisor is documenting our meetings. We can see appointments, we can see support cases, all that information. We see course plans that have been generated by advisors, all in your information. We just need student ID oftentimes, and we can find you. So that is definitely something that will allow you to select from any of your focus area advisors. And even if you have a referral to an advising area that may be outside of your focus area, they too, that advisor in that other focus area will be able to see those notes as well.
Great. What is so is a cluster advisor a major advisor? And if you have to meet with a major advisor, if you see some sort of verbiage like that on a department website or in a program requirement, is that now my focus area case team?
Y'all take that one. So yeah, essentially, we're no longer focusing on just one department. We're focusing on the cluster. So to answer the question that was just posted on the chat, you can meet with, if you're a neuroscience advisor or student, you can meet with any one of your life sciences advisors. And as Luis mentioned, all the notes will be in the system. We will work as one to advise you. So if you can't meet with one of us, you can meet with another one, and we'll coordinate or talk to each other if needed to help you out with whatever questions you have.
I know we're going to talk about this probably a little bit in some of the breakout sessions, but we got a lot of questions about research and ways to find research in the natural sciences. Do you have any kind of general, not necessarily major specific advice for students that are looking to get involved in research and where to start?
I can take a stab at this one. Research is, very big, obviously, within the natural sciences department, especially maybe depending on the department. So we definitely recommend visiting like the department websites that you're in if you're doing math or chemistry or like neuroscience. The department specific websites may have more specific information regarding like faculty research. Another way is just to really get involved in getting to know like some of your professors, attending their office hours, asking about their work and their research, then potentially asking them about potential opportunities they might be able to point you in the right direction too. But I think even just kind of reaching out to faculty that you're maybe taking classes with that you're interested in is just a good way to really get started, especially as you kind of transition into sophomore year. You're going to start taking those upper division courses, maybe start thinking about research, maybe like junior year or so. Definitely getting to know the faculty is a good way to start too.
Great, thank you. Um, Another good question. If I'm interested in adding a major or a minor in another focus area, should I meet with you all first or should I meet with someone in that focus area? Can you still help me figure out how that might fit?
I can help answer this one. So you definitely want to check in with your cluster advisor first and know that you can receive a referral to the major or the other minor that you're interested in pursuing if it's in a different cluster. And the goal really is for you to learn with your advisor how much room you have in your schedule to fit in that second major or minor, and also learn about specific policies around double majors or a second bachelor's degree, minor requirements, and those kinds of things. So definitely your first starting point would be your cluster advisor, and to know that you can always get a referral to the other advisors where you can have a similar conversation focusing on that second program that you're interested in.
And then this is kind of a question for that multiple of you could answer if you like. But do you have any offices on campus or resources that you think a sophomore should definitely be taking advantage of?
There's,
So sorry.
Go for it.
Oh yeah. So one suggestion, especially when transitioning from first year to second year, is to definitely keep taking advantage of supplemental instruction, the Core Check Center, especially for students that don't have the best of organizational skills. There's been a lot of changes in your first year, but there's always improvements that can happen. So the Core Check Center is a great resource to help students better manage their schedules, how to better take or study, take notes in class, etc. So that's one of the resources that I always advise students to take advantage. In addition to also, start thinking about maybe that next career path, right? So definitely the Career Center is never too early or too late to talk to someone at the Career Center or career pathways. So it's something that I always advise students to start looking into it right away. So yeah, those are some. I don't know if somebody else has others.
I have another one to add, and some of you may already be familiar with this, which is the pre-health office. Their resources online are exceptional. There's also peer advisors. So definitely look into all of that for all of the various tracks within pre-health. And of course, planning to schedule a meeting or a time to meet with the pre-health advisor as you're moving through your curriculum and planning your applications for pre-health programs.
And then one last thing I'll mention too, like, going back to the Career Center, if you haven't looked at their website, it is a great wealth of resources there, and it even breaks it down like by year, like maybe what you should be thinking about, whether that's internships, or doing letters of recommendation, resume writing, and they host various workshops and everything throughout the semester, and they have a whole event section that they throw out there like throughout the semester. So there's a ton of things even happening this week, through the Career Center. So it's always one that I definitely recommend students take advantage of. And, yeah.
I would
Thank
just
you. Oh,
I
go
would just
ahead,
throw
please.
in one last thing is that any opportunities that you see for health and well-being, there's a lot of support for students to just have a balanced day, a balanced week, a balanced semester. So seek out those different programs, either through our student health center, that will allow you to kind of connect and just have those balances because you're going to be doing a lot of studying and there's also this part of us that we really do need to make sure that you're balancing out. So
All right. Thank you all. Thank you to our panelists. Thank you for those who sent questions. We're going to go ahead and transition now into the second phase of our event, which are our breakout rooms by focus area. So we'll have breakout room 1 is for our life sciences focus area. Breakout room 2 is for physical sciences and math. If you do not remember which one you are supposed to be in, feel free to hang back and I'll help make sure you get to the right room.
Excellent. Well, are you starting too? Or
Yep, I'll go ahead and get us kicked off. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining our physical science and mathematics case team breakout room. If you did not get a chance to check in earlier, could you please make sure to scan the QR code to let us know that you're here? You do not need to sign in again if you already did so in the main session. If you haven't already, you can also make sure to update your Zoom name if needed. And so now I would like to pass it over to and introduce our cluster advising case team.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. We are all very excited to work with you over here for the next couple of years. So I'd just like to introduce our physical sciences and mathematics advising team. My name is Logan McCraley. Been with USC for about 4 or 5 years now. It's gone by quick. And born and raised in the LA area. I'm very excited to work with you all, and then I'll have Deshanae Darnell introduce herself as well.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Deshna Darnell. I am one of the academic advisors with the Physical Science Cluster. I've been with the USC for a few months now. I'm very excited to work with everyone and hopefully meet all of you.
Perfect. And we'll have Jasmine introduce herself.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Jasmine Gonzalez. I am one of the academic advisors here within the Physical Sciences and Mathematics case team, and I look forward to meeting with you all. Thank you for being here.
Perfect. And then we have Jonathan.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Hope everyone's having a good week. Jonathan Wood, previous chemistry advisor, but now the chemistry liaison, part of the physical sciences team in mathematics. Been with USC, I believe going on 4 years now, or 3. And I look forward to working with you for the rest of your journey at USC.
Awesome. Thanks, Jonathan. We do want to cover just the majors that we advise here within our cluster. So we do cover, these areas here. So within chemistry, our advising team covers the biochemistry BS as well as the chemistry BA and BS, the chemistry nanoscience BS, chemical research BS, chemical biology BS as well. We also advise the data science BA program, as well as two programs within the Earth Sciences department, which would be Earth Sciences BA and Geological Sciences BS. Within the math department, we have four math programs. We have the Applied and Computational Mathematics BA and BS programs, as well as the Pure Mathematics BA and BS. Lastly, we have the Physics and Astronomy majors. So we have the Astronomy BA BS, the Physics BA and BS, the Combined Physics and Computer Science BS, Physical Sciences BS, and lastly, the Biophysics BS. And then we also have the Quantitative Biology, also known as QBio BS. So all four of our advisors here, including myself, we advise all of these different majors within the Physical Sciences and Natural Sciences cluster. We also just want to kind of go over some of the minors that we advise, just because we do have quite a lot of students, like chemistry students who will maybe do like physics minor, or math student who will do like a data science minor. So we all kind of advise these programs here. So some of the minors that we advise, within the chemistry department, we have the chemistry minor, we have the environmental chemistry and sustainability minor, the plastics sustainability minor. Within data science, we have one minor, which is the foundations of data science minor. Within earth sciences, we have the geohazards minor and the geobiology minor. And then we also have the geohazards minor too. Within math, we have the pure math minor, we have the mathematical finance, we have statistics, and we have mathematical data analytics minor. Within our physics and astronomy programs, within our minors, we have the physics minor and the astronomy minor. And then lastly, within QBio, we have the computational biology and bioinformatics minor. So again, all four of us, we advise all of these minors. So if you do have questions, or maybe you're interested in maybe adding one of these, feel free to let us know, and we will be here to assist you. And now that you have met all of us briefly for the advisors, one thing to know is that if you do want to schedule an appointment with one of us in person, just note that we are located in different areas on campus. So when you are scheduling those appointments in Advise USC, just make sure that you are looking to see where the appointments are. So Deschanel, she is located in AHF, the Hancock Foundation Building in 107. Hasmin is located in RRI 401, Irene Hall. Myself, I am located in the HNB 120 on the first floor, which is the Headco Neurosciences building. And lastly, we have Jonathan, who is located in SGM on the fourth floor, and 455, which is the Sealy G Mudd building. At this point too, I will actually pass this over to Jonathan, who will go over the chemistry information here.
Great. Thank you, Logan. Yeah, so just for the chemistry department, whether you're doing biochem or various chemistry tracks, the nano research, chemical bio, or the Chem BA, you should be getting sophomore year with organic chemistry series. Most of you should already be registered for 325A. I mean, you do have the option of doing 322 for the equal credit, but 325A is specifically designed for majors. If you're doing one of the chemistry tracks, you should probably be doing it with math and physics. If you're doing biochem, you should probably be doing BIS 320 MoBio, and then BIS 330 Biochem in the spring of sophomore year. Just a little bit about the curriculum. Research opportunities, we always recommend supplemental instruction for chem, math, and physics. I believe they do BIS too, just good resources for students. We ask students get involved in research as early as possible. We offer Chem 292 and the Seminar 294 for freshmen and sophomores. Chem 490 and 494 are reserved for juniors and seniors. So we ask that you can kind of browse our chemistry website just to get a little more information about the research we have, or just kind of meeting with faculty to get involved and always ask questions. Our Director of Undergraduate Studies is Dr. Johan Delati. He teaches Chem 430, physical chemistry, thermodynamics, and kinetics, which chem majors mostly will take that class, while biochem takes physical science, physical chem, life sciences, 432, senior year. And we ask that you get involved, possibly joining the chemistry club. Our president's Eleanor Tupper. And with that, I'll pass it on to Louise.
Thanks, Jonathan. I'm going to go over the physics and astronomy department, some curriculum to start off with. We really want students to pay close attention to their STARS report, and that's true for just any major. But in particular, we do have a note in the STARS report, and it indicates on the STARS report that a C or better is required note on upper division courses. So when you're reviewing your STARS report, which I'm sure you've done already, look for the specific requirements for physics and astronomy. One of those is that a C or better is required in upper division courses. Now, when you're creating a course plan with one of us, one of the advisors, or when you're planning, one thing that's really, really important is making sure that you are keeping track with the sequence of courses that are offered, keeping in mind that there's only certain classes that are offered in the fall and others only offered in the spring. So when you are planning the semesters, really make sure that those things are dialed in so that you're not out of sequence. Being out of sequence can delay graduation, so that's why it's particularly important. I'm going to also next talk about resources and opportunities here, and I'm going to chat the links that you see here so that you have them handy. If there are any concepts that you may be struggling with, whether it be astronomy or physics, the lecture support lab link leads to some really great explanations of different concepts that could be helpful in really absorbing the information that you need for physics and or astronomy. Research is strongly encouraged in this link that I just shared for research. You'll find lots of information on how to get involved, what kind of research undergraduate students can take. So take a look at that link. It's really a terrific resource for you. There is a mentorship program, PAMP. This is the Physics and Astronomy Mentorship. We want students of all backgrounds that are interested in physics and astronomy really encourage to connect with PAMP. And finally, USC Society of Physics and Students is a student-run program. Again, they are looking for all students to get involved that have an inclination or fascination with physics. All right, so that is it for physics and astronomy. I'm going to hand things over to Logan. He'll go over mathematics.
Everyone, all right. So within the math department, just a couple of things that we do like to kind of highlight and kind of similar with some of the other programs. Within the math department, all of the upper division core courses for both the applied math and the pure mathematics program, they must be completed with a grade of a C or higher. So again, just like Louise said, just make sure that you are double checking your STARS report as well. We also like to highlight the logical reasoning elective, which is required for both the Applied Math BS and the Math BS programs. Students can take either Math 290, 430, or 432. I know it says 423 there, but it'd be 432, which is combinatorics. It is important to note that for especially the Applied Math BS program, Math 430 and 432 may count either as a logical reasoning elective or an upper division elective. It cannot satisfy both requirements. So you may see it listed as an elective option for logical reasoning elective or upper division, but just so it can be one of those, not both. Another course that we like to highlight, one that just launched actually this past semester, is the Math 454 Game Theory course. This is a new course offering. It is an approved upper division elective for all of our math majors, so it's not currently listed on the catalog just because it's so new. I believe it'll be offered next spring, so spring 2027, if that's something you're interested in. Another thing to note is that some of the math courses, especially for the Math BS, you have Math 425B and Math 471. These are both spring-only courses, so course sequencing is very important, especially within the Math BS program. Some of the other elective courses, within math are going to be fall or spring only. So you can double check like the USC schedule of classes and the catalog to see when those are offered. You can also open a support case and ask questions about any of the math courses within one of the clusters here. Next, we'd like to highlight some research and opportunities. So, students who are interested in studying abroad, we have a really great website for that. This is a really great option for students to kind of learn and take and fulfill courses, outside of USC. So you can kind of look at universities that the math department has partnered with in the past, look at previously approved courses too. And if you're interested in like research, we do offer a Math 490 directed research course. Usually these are going to be 1 to 2 unit courses that you can kind of work with professors. If you are interested in research, especially within maybe doing a directed research, definitely let one of us know. We can give you more information on that. And again, the math website has a great information on research as well. And with that, I will pass on to Yasmin.
Thank you, Logan. Hi, everyone. So I am one of the academic advisors and didn't mention before, but I'm also the quantitative biology liaison advisor. So a lot of the curriculum we will go over together. There are a lot of sections within the quantitative biology major, and which is very flexible. Some courses will be applicable to one section that can also be applicable to another section, but not for both. So the quantitative biology does become very flexible in terms of the courses that you can take each semester, which is something that we can definitely get into once we course plan together. Research and opportunities. The quantitative biology major does require research, and there are a couple different options, which does come again with the flexibility of the major. There are regular sessions as well as QBio honor sessions as well. If you take part in the QBio honors, which would be the QBio 493 and 494, that does require an application, as well as maintaining those GPAs as well. If you wanted to take the regular research, which would be under a PI or a faculty advisor, that works as well. You would just have to submit a proposal to the Director of Undergraduate Studies, which is Dr. Peter Calabresi, and then have it approved. 6 units is required for the quantitative biology major, so just ensuring that you are planning that accordingly, depending on your availability for the upcoming semester, and as well as if your schedule permits around your other major required courses as well. And we will do that together as well. Alrighty, and then also, I am also the liaison for the data science program as well. And for the curriculum, it's very straightforward as well. We have core required courses and then data science electives alongside basic math requirements, statistics course, that we would absolutely plan as well. Some of the resources and opportunities for the data science major are, even though the data science major is a Dorn-Sci, technically still a Dorn-Sci major, it is kind of meshed within Viterbi. So the great news is that you can absolutely take advantage of the Viterbi tutoring services as a data science student, and that applies to you whether you are data science major or minor. In addition to the tutoring for data science students through Viterbi, you can also take advantage of the Graduates Rising in Information and Data Science and short version is GRIDS. It's just an opportunity for you to connect with other data science students, and that is open to any and all data science students as well, just so that way you can also have a bit of a data science community. Thank you. And I will go ahead and pass it back to Logan.
Cool. Perfect. So we have the Earth Sciences Department. So just kind of something to note, this is a great department. It's fairly small. One of the things that we like to highlight, for the Geological Sciences BS, we have 315 Minerals and Earth Sciences as a fall-only course. We definitely do recommend taking it sophomore year. So if you are in, the Geological Sciences BS, may want to think about taking that course if you're not enrolled in it too. Within the resources and opportunities, since this is a admittedly small department, they are very open to working with undergraduates for research. There's even what we call the Earth Sciences Undergrad Research Program. The SRAP offers small grants up to $2,500 to basically even all USC students with a major or minor within the Earth Sciences Department. So if you're maybe looking to get into some research, a minor within Geological Sciences, Earth Sciences could be something to look at. We do have various field geology courses too that you can take as like a semester. So they go various places like Yukon Basic, Greece, all sorts of areas. But it's definitely something that we like to highlight. And our DUS is Dave Botcher for this major and department. So we definitely recommend connecting with him. If you are interested in doing anything related to research within Earth Sciences, get you in contact with the appropriate faculty. And also just to kind of pick your brain, see what you're interested, because within this department, you can kind of go a lot of different ways. It's not just, one department here. And with that, pass back to Courtney.
All right, thank you, everyone. So now that you have met your cluster advisors and learned a little bit more about opportunities in your major department, let's now review next steps before we jump into our Q&A. So make sure to register for our One Dornsife Fest if you haven't already. That's happening this Thursday, and it is our biggest event of the year. So we would love to have you join us for In and Out, Dornsife swag, raffle prizes, and an opportunity to connect with campus partners, faculty, alums, and fellow students. This is also your first chance to connect with your cluster advising case team in person. You can RSVP through a link that I will post momentarily in the chat, or if you have the Engage SC app, you can log into the app and then scan the QR code on this slide. Next, check your USC email on May 4th for your final First Year Insider, our first year advising newsletter. This will have some transition-related reminders, links to the recording of today's session, and other useful resources to prepare for sophomore year. As the semester comes to a close, look out for an email and an Advise USC announcement from your first year advisor. They'll send you a fond final farewell, and then shortly after, you'll get a welcome email and an Advise USC announcement from your cluster advising case team. And you'll officially start working with your cluster advisors from that day until graduation. The transition experience will then be complete. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put that link to RSVP for the fest in the chat. All right. Before we get to your questions, if you could please take a quick minute to share feedback about this event. Responses are anonymous and they will help us improve the transition experience for future students.